Hey, Adam,
Geez,
one
why,
thing.
why do you think they called bumpers scary?
I don't know.
Because they come at the beginning, at the end, like bumpers.
Alex, you're a marketing guy. Do you like that design behind Paul? Does that sweet logo thing look pretty cool to you?
Hey, I forgot to hit the record button.
Yeah, that's really professional, isn't it?
Well, this is a professional podcast.
I met her in a parking lot and was handed 2 little Yorkies. And the only person I knew that knew Yorkies was Paul. So I called Paul and said, Paul.
Sweet Talk is a weekly 20-minute podcast brought to you by the Continuing Education and Workforce Training Division of Idaho State University's College of Technology. Find us on Apple Podcast, Spotify, and SoundCloud and subscribe today. Now it's time to get started with Sweet Talk.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Sweet Talk, Idaho State University's Continuing Education and Workforce Training's weekly podcast. Joining us today is Alicia Wheeler. She is my co-worker here at SWEET. She is over all of our health programs. And as our guests today, we have Heather Moore and Amy Welsh, both with Best LLC in town. They will be here to talk to us, all three of these ladies, to talk to us about the Mental Health Week events that we have coming up at the end of September and early October. Well, welcome to the podcast, Heather and Amy. Can you take a moment to introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about Best LLC and the Mental Health Week that we have coming up?
Absolutely. Good afternoon, Angie. It's good to be here. Thank you for having us. I guess I will go ahead and start. My name is Heather Moore. I am an RN. I got my degree from ISU, so go Bengals. And I have worked in the realm of mental health for 16 years now in Eastern Idaho, basically. And I used to do a lot of mental health nursing for a lot of years and got into program development and administration for a company in Idaho Falls called RHS, Rehabilitative Health Services. And we also at RHS stood up the crisis center in the Idaho Falls area for Region 7. And at that time, my mentor and business partner, Devere Hunt, was asked to be part of the stand-up committee for the crisis center in Region 6 and brought me along with them to some of those meetings. And I guess the rest is history. We helped to stand up the Southeast Idaho Behavioral Crisis Center, CEWT, also known as CEWT, in Pocatello at the Idaho Falls City Center. And from there, we decided to expand to do outpatient services at in the Pocatello area, and is where Best LLC outpatient services expanded into the community. And we also have brought other things that we have done in the Idaho Falls area to the Pocatello area, like the symposium and the 5K. So that what Best LLC does as far as outpatient services is we offer counseling services or therapy. We have a prescriber, a DN, multiple peer support workers, CBRS workers, case managers that work in the community, recovery coaches. We also have Center for Hope that is part of the Best LLC umbrella that is co-located with outpatient services for Best LLC, the crisis center at the Idaho Falls City Center as well. I guess that's just kind of a quick snapshot of what our footprint looks like in the Pocatello area. I probably missed some things too.
No, it's okay. We'll probably get to those as we ask questions. How about you, Amy?
So my paycheck actually comes from the Center for Hope, but I have worked for under that umbrella of Best LLC, and I am housed in the women's prison, the Pocatello Women's Correctional Center, and I work on a grant that we help women who are leaving incarceration and help them fight their opioid addiction with MAT treatment, which is medically assisted treatment. There's many medications on the market right now to help people who are leaving incarceration or leaving anywhere with an addiction problem. And so that's what I do. I am the case manager. There's recovery coaches that work with me. and it's a really great program.
Well, I'm very happy to hear that we have such great programs running in the Pocatello area. The Best LLC Crisis Center happens to be in my neighborhood, and I can tell you that it's such a really, really great facility right in the middle of town. Really, really great. Very close to other services such as like grocery stores, for example, close to bus stations as well for someone who may need to take the bus to get to other services. We're here today, though, to talk about our mental health week. I'm going to go in a round robin for each of you to talk a little bit about what we have going on. I'm going to start with Alicia. Idaho State University and Best LLC have partnered for a couple of years on our mental health week. It makes it really, really great so that we can expand opportunities for people who are looking to get some education in the mental health field to gain some of those contact hours in CEUs. It also gives us an opportunity for those in the community to support a nonprofit in our area, and we will get to that in a few minutes. Alicia, can you talk just briefly about Idaho State University's offerings during Mental Health Week?
Yeah, so this year for our Mental Health Week, it starts September 30th, and we are going to offer 4 lunch and learns, one for each day of the beginning of end of September, beginning of October. So on September 30th, we're going to have Rachel Madison, and she is going to be talking about meditation. So how to improve your health through mental health through meditation. And then we have on the 1st of October, we have April Perez. She teaches mental health first aid for us, and she is going to talk about that and what kind of course that is and what information you can gain from that, as well as what community resources are available if you are in crisis or having issues with mental health. And then on the 2nd, we have Dr. Willie is going to address mental health and nutrition and how your nutrition can affect your mental health. And then following up him, we'll have on October 3rd, we will have Matt Olson, and he's going to talk about resiliency in teens and what we can do to help our teenagers in crisis. Our lunch and learns are from 12 to 1, and you can register through C-Train, and Angie will give you that information at the end of this podcast.
Now, the wonderful thing about what Alicia's brought up is the registration for our system. Since we're partnering with Best LLC, you do not need to go several places to find out about all of our offerings. All of our offerings, as well as all of Best's offering during this week, are on one website, which I'll give you at the end. Now, Heather, Amy, can you talk a little about the symposium that you will be hosting through Best LLC? I know there'll be about 7 CEUs people can get for that symposium. Will one of you be willing to tell us a little bit about what participants may learn at this event?
Sure, and I think I might pass the baton to Amy for that. Amy has kind of led the discussions and the planning for the creation of the symposium this year. She's also been a key part of the symposium and the 5K that we have done the last 2 years. And I know ISU is also a key part. And I can't have this podcast without mentioning Myrna Daniels and Steve Boa. They are amazing. They are our leadership. Myrna is the director of the Crisis Center, and Steve is the assistant director. And they are very amazing advocates in our industry in the Pocatello area and have many years of experience. They also have been working hand in hand with Amy, creating this lineup of people that we have speaking at the symposium and making sure that our 5K dollars that we raise go to a really good nonprofit entity. So I will let Amy take it from here, if that's okay.
So on the 4th, Friday the 4th, we'll have the symposium, and we'll be meeting at the Chubbuck City Office Building, which is a beautiful new building, and we're lucky to get to use it. We have lots of mental health specialists from the community. We have Nick Evans from the District 6 Probation and Parole. He's their therapist there, and so he'll be coming to speak. We have Janelle Clement, who's the warden at PWCC, and she has a clinical background, and she'll be speaking about resilience as far as incarceration and going out into the community go. Amber Mickelson is the clinical lead at the prison, and she will be speaking about diversity, as there are many opportunities for us to appreciate diversity at the prison and in the community as well. We have several people from outpatient, people in the community who will be speaking about outpatient mental health and places that you can go to seek help and things that you can help with as far as being the provider. So I'm excited about our lineup this year. I think we have a lot of really good people, and I think it's going to be super interesting. There'll also be an ethics CEU offered at the end of the day, and that will be Joanne Martinez from the social work program at ISU.
I think it looks like such an amazing lineup. And I can hit on what Heather had spoken earlier. We've been working not only with Amy, but we've also been in meetings with Steve and Marta, and they are fantastic human beings. You'll all get an opportunity, hopefully, to meet them at the symposium. The symposium is very cost effective for people looking to get those CEUs. It's only $50. Can you talk, what about people who might be students? Are they welcome to come as well?
Yes, they are, and we will waive those fees for them. They can come at no cost if they're a full-time student.
That is
That's amazing.
fantastic. Amazing, especially with the ethics course. I can't talk enough about how much ethics plays into any type of administrative role. Now, on top of this wonderful symposium and week of training that we have, there is a 5K which started just a couple years ago. Now that 5K will benefit, that is, anyone in the community can come up to this. That happens Saturday, October 5th. That will be at Lower Ross Park. For those of you who participate in many of the fun runs through the city of Pocatello, it is one of those courses. Now, the money raised from the 5K will go back to a charity. This is Best LLC that will be putting on this 5K. What charity has been chosen to be the recipient of funds this year?
We have chosen Acorn Fund. Is it just incorporated, Amy?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And they are a local volunteer-ran nonprofit agency who provides services in the community for people who need vital records, such as driver's licenses, birth certificates. There's a whole lineup of like paperwork that they can help people get. They also help place people in the community in employment, help them with transportation. I think they do a lot with Christmas. And I guess a lot of history of the 5Ks. Like I said, we'd have brought some of these things that we've done in Region 6 or from Region 7 to Region 6. And I mentioned Devere Hunt earlier, and this was kind of his brainchild that he started about 11 years ago, I want to say now. I might be wrong on that, but 10 plus years ago. And he wanted to find a way to give back to the community for some of these resources that we refer into from various entities, whether it's the crisis centers or from local private agencies. These individuals struggle getting funding to be able to provide services for those who are underserved or the people that don't really necessarily yet have resources to pay for services to help them with any mental health or substance use needs. And every year we choose a nonprofit, generally a nonprofit we haven't given to before. And we are doing the same concept in the Pocatello area. The first year we gave
to Lance Taysom.
And this, what's that?
The first year we did Lance Taysom
Yes, and then
Memorial Fund, and then last year we did the Center for Hope.
And then this year we're giving to Acorn funding.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's fantastic. That is, thank you guys so much. We're kind of wrapping up here. Now, what I do want to ask, and any of you can jump in and answer, again, we have some contact hours that you'll be able to get for free just from coming to our lunch and learns. Those are all over Zoom conducted by ISU, as well as opportunities to have CEUs through Best's symposium that will happen that Friday. But can you speak a little bit on the importance of continuing education for people who are working in the mental health field or industry?
Oh, yes, absolutely. So the continuing educations are they're units to improve on our education for the field of the line of work we are in. And depending on the licensing that an individual has, depends on how many years that they are or that they to report to get continuing education units. There are a lot of people that aren't necessarily required to get education, personal desire to make sure that they keep up on educating themselves in whatever industry. So I think that's kind of a snapshot. I don't know if Alicia has a better answer or.
No, I just think it's important. I mean, not only is it important to keep your license, but it's also important that you're up on the latest and what is out there and what's available and what works the best for people. So yeah.
Well, thank you, ladies, for running a bit short on time. I would like to thank Alicia, Heather, and Amy for being here today to talk about our upcoming mental health week events that again will be happening from about September 30th through October 5th. If you would like to sign up for any or all of the activities happening, you can do so at cetrain.isu.edu/MHW. That should be Mental Health Week. You can also just go to cetrain.isu.edu and search Mental Health Week. You can call us here at ISU at 208-282-3372. If you have any information or if you just need a little bit of help navigating our system, you'll be able to register for these classes on that site. And again, many of your questions may be answered on there, or you can give us a call. So thank you again, Amy, Heather, and Alicia, for being on our podcast. We hope to see many of our listeners at our events in September and October, and be safe out there.